Hello. Yes, I decided to come to work today. Everybody freaking relax about it. Part-time Josh. Oh, and he's late on it. Everybody just calm down. Everybody just calm down. Now look. It's gonna let's just get this out of the way. It's gonna be a short stream today. Okay? Let's just get this out of the way. Okay? It's gonna be a short stream today. Alright? Sorry. Alright? Get it out of your system. Go ahead. Are you mad about it? Yeah, sorry. Short one today. Yeah. Look, just quit streaming at this point. I love streaming. Relax. The reason is because I'm going on a trip to go see this crazy Demon Slayer movie. Hey, any of y'all gonna go see the Demon Slayer movie this weekend? Anybody going to see the Demon Slayer movie this weekend? Bro, guys, we're gonna talk about it today. But there's reports all over the place with regards to the box office for this Demon Slayer movie. This thing, dude, some people are suggesting this thing could get all the way up to $80 million domestic. $80 million domestic. That would be insane. Even anything close to that, like even past 40, honestly, 50, it would be insane. We're going to talk about it later. Yeah. We're going to talk about it later. A lot of differing opinions out there. People reporting on it in different ways. Some people are like, holy shit, this better not do this. Some people are like, what? It's crazy. We'll get into it all. But all I know for sure is like, I'm really excited. So we're actually going to the same theater that I saw the Superman movie in. And we were just really impressed with that theater. It was one of the early showing Superman screenings, those fan ones that they tricked us into buying and all that. And it was one of the best just experiences we had in a theater in a long time. So we're going back to that exact theater, that exact one. We're doing the D-Box, $27 a ticket. $27 a ticket, and we're doing it. And I'm fucking pumped, man. I am pumped. I am so excited. And so I'm going to go experience that today with the wife, and I'll report back to you guys. But that's why the stream's going to be shorter today. We're going to try to wrap this thing up close to 1. Because I got to leave at around 2. It's a long journey to get down to that theater. So that's what's going on. So I do have some cool topics for you today, guys. We're going to complain about we're going to talk about James Gunn on Howard Stern and the future of the DCU. So we're going to do that. I wanted to talk about Dr. Doom and Reed Richards working together. The tease from the Russo brothers is pretty freaking crazy. And then I have this big, long theory. I figured, you know what? I figured there was something I've been working on, a little theory. And I was like, oh, man, should I do it in a main channel vid? Like, should we wait on that or whatever? I'm actually just going to tell you guys about it today in this stream. And it has to do with Dr. Doom. It has to do with Steve Rogers. It has to do with the multiverse. It has to do with his motivations. I have this, like, big, crazy theory about how all of this could work together. So we're going to touch on that later in the stream. And then we'll, of course, talk a little bit about the Demon Slayer shit, too. Okay, so that's what we have going on today. Now, look, I do want to say just a couple of things off of the top here. Obviously, yesterday was a crazy day. Look, I'll try to make this brief. But I just felt like it would be disingenuous to not address it at all. Now, here's the way I'm going to talk about this. Here's the way I'm going to frame this. I have a weird job, a silly job. This is called the Den of Nerds. I talk about Marvel. I talk about Star Wars a little bit. I talk about DC. I talk about Warhammer. I talk about nerdy things. You know what I mean? In some ways, I'm like a man-child content creator guy that figured out a way to yap about nerdy shit and make a career out of it somehow, okay? Now, despite this being a truly silly job, it's very unserious. I've been told throughout the many years that I've been doing this by many different people that this content, this silly content about nerdy stuff has helped them tangibly. It has actually helped them. And it's one of those things where it's like, it's not a serious job. You know what I mean? What I do is not serious. But through whatever means and however, the universe does its thing, it does happen to be the case that life is hard, and life can be very hard for a lot of people. And in some moments when life is hard, you just need to turn something on and just get a little bit of a distraction or have a little bit of escapism. I've been there myself. You know what I mean? I've been there myself. I say all of that to tell you that, many folks have told me throughout the years how important it is for them and how much it means to them that the content comes out and it's just nerdy and we try to keep it nerdy. Now, a lot of you that are here, and I would expect most of you guys that are here right now are hardcores. You've been here a while or whatever, or maybe you're a longtime lurker or whatnot. You also probably know that I don't like to be political, and I intentionally don't like to talk about political things, partially because I do want to create an environment of true escapism, and partially because I feel it's a choice of how I want to live my life. If you want to get into politics, more power to you. If you want to talk about that kind of stuff, more power to you. But I think that you are choosing a life where you talk about some of the most serious and consequential and tense subjects that are out there. And so I've made a choice. I made a choice to stay in a certain lane and do a certain thing because of what I wanted my life to be and what I wanted my work to provide to other people in their life. And that's not going to change. And today we're just going to talk about nerdy shit again. But I will just say that, obviously yesterday Charlie Kirk gets shot, and I'll just say that as a human being, right? Just as a human being going through life in the same way that many of you are going through life, I found the whole thing to be so bizarre and weird, and it's, in some ways it feels like the antithesis of an environment that's very tense and things feel desperate and people are at their breaking point, in a lot of ways. Like I see that, I feel that, I understand that, and in some ways what happened yesterday feels like a natural conclusion to that. But what sucks about it, obviously it's a tragedy, but the thing that's kind of fucking with me, and I think it's probably fucking with a lot of you guys, is the reaction to it online, and the fact that like a literal 4K video of a brutal political assassination, was, it kind of fucks with me in a sense that just we all watched it like that, just people watched it. Some people had watched it maybe 50 times before they even knew whether he had lived or not, right? And it's like we're almost like treating it like it's on a stage or it's a video game or something that's not real. Everybody's just watching this absolutely fucking brutal violence that actually happened. And yet there's this desensitization, there's this numbness to it. And I think a lot of the thing that's really messing with me has been the reaction from many folks that are memeing about it, joking about it, making light of it, or even celebrating it, right? To take it to that extreme, celebrating it, which is so bizarre. But I think all I will say about it really is this, that, I think that it really just all comes down to what is your worldview? How do you make sense of this thing called life? And I think that for a lot of people that maybe haven't spent a lot of time actually forming the foundations of how they actually feel about the world, how do they feel about morality, how do they feel about human beings, what is love, what is trust, all of these esoteric ideas that I think are downplayed in a culture that is so fixated on industrialism and making us cogs in a machine in a lot of ways, right? It's the real tragedy is that these people are incentivized, or it has to either be an incentivization or it's a desensitization to what I would say are just very normal human feelings and perceptions, and there's this very perverse thing that's going on where people are incentivized to, because it's part of it's sure, you don't like the guy or you thought the guy was really, really bad, at a base level, I can understand that, but there's this wanton energy from folks that want to make other people feel bad and uncomfortable. There's this energy of this it feels very wicked is the only way I can describe it. It's wicked. It's the folks that they don't just want it's like they don't just want people to know that they thought it was cool. They want you to be uncomfortable and feel weird about life because they are so willing to celebrate it. It's almost like the thread of their vile wickedness has somehow been co-opted for social currency, dopamine, you know, a personal aggrandizing. And it is disturbing. You know what I mean? Like, it is disturbing. But here's what I will say about this. I mean, like, again, dude, I'm the nerdy YouTuber. I don't know shit. I don't know what it means. I don't know how to move forward from here. But what I can tell you this. I have a guiding principle that's very useful in my own life for making sense of the world. And it helps me in all situations, whether it's like a crazy situation like this or even something maybe seemingly insignificant. And that is that I think the idea that the world is really complicated and therefore we can't grasp it to make any sense of it. Like, it's all just so complicated and there's so much chaos and there's so many people with different feelings and opinions and all this. I really feel that viewpoint is a weapon against your personal peace and power. And that although, yes, the world is complicated, I actually don't think evil is that complicated. I don't think evil is that complicated. I don't think love is that complicated. And I actually don't think it's that complicated to know that in the face of evil, love is the answer. It sounds really corny. It sounds very, you know, it sounds like a Hallmark card or a fortune cookie or whatever, right? But I think that if you really, well, I guess I'll just say this. For me, I just personally really do feel like that is what it is. That if you can understand that even that feeling that it's so confusing, it's so chaotic, and the world is so strange, even that feeling is actually a weapon that you cannot allow to prosper against you. You have to have a truly strong mind and a strong will to make sense of this truly crazy fucking world. But at the end of the day, for me, it's very simple. It's like you cannot allow yourself to be hateful and be torn apart, and you can't allow like the wickedness of other folks to make you want to be wicked or do wicked things. Doesn't mean you have to trust them. It certainly doesn't mean you have to like acknowledge it or like it or support it or whatever. But I think the guiding principle that has helped me throughout life is that, A, it actually isn't that complex. Know what evil is, know what is wrong, know what is right. It goes back to like Star Wars and the light side and the dark and fairy tales and the morality that's been shown and spread throughout like the entire history of humanity. Like, it's actually not that complex. Try to, you know, protect yourself and protect the people around you, but ultimately the path forward is one of love, which is not the same thing as one of trust, by the way. You know, it's not the same thing as trusting. It's not the same thing as being complacent. It's not the same thing as allowing yourself to be the stepping stool of someone else. It's not the same thing. It's like Shakespeare said, love everyone, trust no one. Like, love, but don't trust. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. That's all I really have to say about it, guys. And now we're just going to get back to doing our thing. We're just going to talk that nerdy shit like we always do. But, yeah, man, I mean, I'm kind of fucked up about it. You know, just to be honest with you, I am fucked up about it. The whole thing is crazy. It feels like an antithesis. It feels like things are going to change. It feels like, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like things are going to get better in the immediate future, right? So just to admit that I'm fucked up about it, it's a crazy time. And I can just share the only thing that I know for sure, and that's what has helped me, the outlook that has helped me deal with the craziness of the world. That's it. That's it. So let's now shift into doing what we do best. And that would be talking shit on James Gunn. What are you doing, James? Let's get into this. Are you ready? Are you ready, chat? Are you ready? Okay, so James Gunn is out there talking more about the DCU to Howard Stern. Okay, so dude, guys, the fucking reformed perverts. I mean, these two esteemed powerhouses of media sat down together to share the future plans for DC. Holy shit. I mean, look, am I the only one that thinks this is crazy? Am I the only one that thinks this is like not the opposite of like what you should do to try to promote your shit? I mean, Howard Stern, right? Like, talk about Howard Stern just for a little bit here. Who the fuck likes Howard Stern anymore? I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm pretty sure nobody fucks with this dude anymore. Like, isn't Sirius even being like, get the fuck out of here or whatever? Like, I don't know all the details. All I know for sure is that like this dude made a whole ass career of being this, you know, wild card punk rock pushback thing, and then he totally flipped and became this like, I don't know. I don't think people. All I'm trying to say is this: the point of the point of it is this: who gives a shit about Howard Stern? Who gives a shit about Howard Stern? And it's like James Gunn and Howard Stern sit down together. What is this, 2001? 1996? Like, what are we doing here? I think this is crazy. So, first of all, I just think the whole framing of this is so weird. And also, it's like, look, Gunn announced this randomly on a Wednesday with comic book art and all sorts of stuff. And I get it. Like, sure, you know, elevate the comic book side of this. That's fine. I like comic books. Dude. But I just don't know that this is actually the way you do things like this. And what I said then was, look, I don't know that this popped really. And I think part of the reason why it did not pop is because this dude is so obsessed with controlling the narrative that like he was so afraid of it leaking that it doesn't go out to the trades. It's not done in some big event or anything like that. He just drops this art. It's like, hey, Jim Lee, you want to draw this fucking thing? And it's like, I just think that's a silly way to do it. And equally silly, I think, is how he's promoting it from that point on. So he sits down he calls in to the Howard Stern show, to tell people about the future of DC. Who is this for? Who the fuck? Anyway, point is this. He calls into Howard Stern's show to explain some shit about Superman. So over it now. You know what I mean? Well, you got me, I guess. We'll talk about it. So, things I said on the Howard Stern show. Tomorrow is a legacy that is a Superman movie. It's a story about Lex Luthor and Superman having to work together to a certain degree against a much, much bigger threat. Okay, so this confirms what many folks thought was going on when these images were first put out there. And okay, so it's a story about Lex Luthor and Superman working together against a much bigger threat. This is what many folks thought it was going to be. I think this probably still means Brainiac. I don't know that we have any more confirmation of that. That's just like the ongoing theory. There's evidence of why that would be the thing there. So there you have it. This is legitimately a Lex Luthor and Superman movie, Man of Tomorrow. Gunn says in this interview as well that he relates more to Lex Luthor for whatever reason, which was another like wild ass thing to say. What do you guys make of this? There's other comments here. He does talk about how it is officially the Superman sequel, which, yes, it is the Superman sequel. I don't understand why he's been so cagey about wanting to call it a Superman sequel or whatever. Like he said, it's a Superman sequel that's not actually a Superman sequel. It doesn't have Superman in the name. It's not a sequel. And yet he says here, I am creating the Superman sequel that we're starting to shoot in April or so. And that's Man of Tomorrow. So I don't know. It's just, it's a weird one. This is the president of DC on Howard Stern trying to clarify and explain what is going on with the future of the DCU. I got to tell you, I don't think this is actually hyping people up. You know, I asked you guys when this announcement was first made if you thought it was actually popping off and getting people excited. And I just don't see a lot of evidence of that, right? And not to say that it can't get there, not to say that there can't be hype building, but like I've been thinking about this a lot. Gunn, I mean, this is probably not going to surprise you, but I don't think he's good at his job. I think he's good at making movies, and I think he made a good movie in Superman. I really like Superman. But like, there's stuff Hollywood does, and there's stuff that the industries have been doing, and there's reasons why they do them. You know? And I've seen this take before, right, where people are like, you know, like, part of this comes from Grace Randolph, and I thought she had a really good take on this, where she said something to the effect of like, you know, it's not like Hollywood is looking at Gunn being front and center for the promotion of Superman and saying, wow, a director being the draw to a movie and being front and center in the promotion. Why didn't we ever think of that? They have, and they've tried it, and it just doesn't fucking work. So it's one of those things where Hollywood does what they do, and they have a reason for doing it. The Superman sequel should have been announced week 2. We should have gone into week 2 for Superman, and there should have been this thing announced. You know what that would have done? 2 things. Number one, it would have been closer attached to the actual hype of Superman, giving the announcement itself a much bigger push. And it would also give a draw to the second weekend and potentially the rest of the theatrical run for the Superman movie itself. And you know how I know that? Because that's what motherfuckers do. That's what people have been doing. That's the pattern. That's what's been going on for years. Hollywood understands this. Hollywood understands this. Okay? So Superman, and by the way, they could have gone, this is the other thing that's really weird about the whole DCU thing and what's going on over there. They had a Comic-Con thing. It was, what, a week after? Maybe, no, it was 2 weeks after their release. They had a Comic-Con. They could have gone to Hall H, announced Man of Tomorrow there, had the 2 actors come out. Like, I'm telling you this not just because it's like, oh, Gunn bad. No, like, this is bad marketing. This is bad promotion. This is not utilizing the tools and like the literal patterns of what has worked before to your advantage. Brother, it's weak sauce to fucking drop some random comic book art on a Wednesday after the movie's already been pushed to digital early, by the way, after the movie's already had fucking discounts and shit. This isn't how this is supposed to go. You're not supposed to, on the tail end of when a thing is popping, try to like come out and inject some life into it. This is silly. This doesn't make any fucking sense. They should have did this while the movie was coming out, while there was hype created, and it would have had a much better pop. So I don't know, man. I'm just telling you that like dropping it on a random fucking Wednesday and then the following week calling into the Howard Stern show to give other updates and things. And yes, you're going to get some headlines. And yes, I'm talking about it right now. I'm making a video about it. It will get out there. But this is not the same thing as like creating actual interest and hype and like getting fans to actually engage in it. You know what this is? It's like weird fodder for some weird fan war. It's silly. We're not acting like professionals here. We're not acting like this is an entire fandom of DC that we are trying to actually service. This is James Gunn's weird little fan fiction version of DC, and it's disturbing how bad this is going off, in my opinion. And it is my opinion, but it's like, look, don't get it twisted. I think this is cool. From the creative perspective, I think Gunn is doing a good job. If he seriously cannot get Batman, getting Lex Luthor is good. Lex Luthor and Superman together is good. But this is not how you do this. This is not how you create hype. And I know Gunn, you know, he's against cameo porn and shit like that, and yet he's putting all this stuff in a Peacemaker, but there should have been a fucking Brainiac post-credit scene in Superman, period, the end of story. You can't have it both ways. You can't talk out of one side of your mouth and say, hey, cameo porn, Marvel doesn't have finished scripts, you know, this genre did this, that, second, and third, we don't like it, and then also say, hey, I want to build to this really cool thing, and Man of Tomorrow is a bigger threat, and these characters coming together should be cool, and you should be interested in it. You can't have it both ways. Play the fucking game the right way. Treat the audience with respect, understand like how to create hype, and don't be so focused on like controlling the narrative that you're going to leave hype and money on the table. This is a silly way to do this, man. So look, is this good to hear? Yes, we already all knew it, but it's fine. It's good to hear. I just think it is worth mentioning This is a terrible way, in my opinion, to create hype, to promote this shit, to get people excited about the DCU. My man's Gunn is fucking this up already. But chat, what do you think? Am I crazy? What do you think? Am I crazy? Did I take it too far? Is this good? Do people still like Howard Stern? Am I getting this way wrong? Yes, 4 out of 10 take. Hey, what? Please. Gunn trying hard to not follow some of Marvel's blueprint. Now Buddy is retconning trailers and connecting projects when he said projects could be watched with no knowledge of past projects. Yes, true. You're crazy, but you're right. Yep, that's right. Thoughts on Sadie Sink playing Mayday Parker? I don't think so, brother. Oh, it's a mid-take, says Ganja Samurai. Oh, sorry, Ganja Samurai. Why don't you take another toke and shut the fuck up? Take is 92.6% correct. I'll take it. James thought the post-credit scenes were funny and actually stupid and a waste of time. Yeah, no, I mean, he probably did think that. You missed my member chat. I'll get to it later, Josh. It probably doesn't have anything to do with this segment right now. Tell me the truth, Josh. Come clean. Your members chat has zero to do with what we're talking about right now. Just tell me. Just be honest. It doesn't, does it? Nuck says, when he called Howard Stern, did he say, oh, my name is Gunn? He did say that. My name is James. My name is James. Can't trust people named Josh. I totally agree, bro. You cannot trust these people, man. You're crazy, bro. Gunn knows exactly what he's doing. Oh, yeah. No, definitely. I feel a lot better about it now. At least DC was doing well enough that Howard actually answered. It could be worse. What? Look, am I crazy or is Howard Stern like completely fallen off? Can we just start there? We should have just started there. You know, I've somehow connected Howard's fall off to my issues with Gunn, which is taking some of the validity away from the Howard Stern point. Let's just focus on the Howard Stern point. This motherfucker has fallen off. So let's just start there, and then we can take it to the next step, which is like, therefore, it's a bad look to call into a show that has fallen off culture. You look like this boomer-ass reformed weirdo. It's not a good look. So, okay, I'm seeing a better way to kind of navigate the, he's so old. He is. What happened to Waller, the Authority, Booster, Gold Paradise, Lost, and Brave and the Bold? Bro is obviously winging it. Yeah, there's some of that. I think there's always going to be some of that, right? I'm just telling you right now, this is fucking, like, look, dude, if this was Marvel, like, maybe this is the way to say it. If this was Marvel, guys, like, just really think about this, okay? And we're like, look, I guess the equivalency would be the next X-Men movie. Okay, so it's like a new universe and everything like that. And we have the first X-Men movie and it, pops off or whatever. This would be like 5 to 6 weeks after the X-Men movie gets out of theaters. Kevin Feige gets a sketch. And the sketch is of like Cyclops and Magneto. Actually, I'm talking myself into this. Actually, it just seems kind of badass. But like, just chill. Just chill. Okay? And then he posts that image and says it's coming out in a couple of years. I don't see that as like the way to create this fucking hype, man. Like, I think that's a silly way to do it. I think the way Marvel would do it would be it's at San Diego Comic-Con, or it's a big post-credit scene for the movie, or the sequel is announced as the movie's coming out there. Like, they play that game at a level where they understand, or it'd be like at the fucking Super Bowl or some shit. Yeah, because Chairs was so fucking brilliant. Look, I'll be honest with you. That was a misstep in my opinion, but it's also hard for me to criticize that because I think it actually worked and got a lot of eyeballs and got a lot of attention. But you know what? The other thing you could say, you could argue this. I think the Chairs thing was actually for Thunderbolts, and I don't know that worked. So in that sense, probably a bad look. Look, it's not that they're perfect over there, obviously. But the point I am making is like part of Gunn's job as the president is to get the fan base engaged with what is this story? What is this thing? And how should we, like, why should we be hyped up for Man of Tomorrow? And I think Man of Tomorrow, with the vision that they have for it, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm misinterpreting it, like maybe this is just the next thing and it's not like this really big deal, but to me it feels like they have to make it much bigger and it's got to be a super big deal. If that's what it is and you need to hit this out of the park, I think you're already fucking it up. I think you had a better opportunity to like get an on-ramp to hype and acceptance. I don't think that's what's going on right now. And I truly think we're being cheeky here. We're having fun. I'm dead ass. I think dropping all the photos on a random ass Wednesday with no real information and then calling into the Howard Stern show, this feels like amateur hour. I'm dead ass. You might not agree with it. I'm serious. This feels like amateur hour. Like, this is not how you get people excited for some shit, in my opinion. It's still 2 years away. Gunn and Co. are not worried about getting comic sweaties declaring Ope it's already bad marketing. Then why say it at all? Like, you can't have it both ways. You can't be like, oh, they're fine with it not popping. They didn't even need to say it. Well, then why did they say it? If you say it, you want it out there. Okay? You say it, you want it out there. Come on. Like, let's just be real. Let's just be real about it. Can't admit that this feels weird. Can't admit that this feels amateurish. Jeez. Who said the announcement didn't pop? I'm telling you it didn't pop, motherfucker. I'm telling you it didn't pop. That's what I'm telling you. Where did it pop? Where's the evidence that it popped? Where's all the videos on YouTube of this announcement and people breaking it down and it's getting hundreds of thousands of fucking views? Where's the fucking tweeter, this, that's like, where's the trending? It shouldn't even trend into the following day. Where's the evidence that it popped off? Who are you people? $600 million is absolutely incredible. That shit popped off. No, it didn't. Oh my God. Okay, that's great. That's a fantastic first segment. I knew we could do it, guys. I knew. Ayo, save that shit. Ayo. Okay, we obviously have to figure this out because this is not sustainable. But every time I'm recording the clips, the stream crashes now. That's not good. That's not good, guys. I'm going to be honest. Like, that's kind of annoying. It's kind of annoying. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, look. Switch to OBS. You don't say that. Look, here's the deal. Here's the deal, chat. Here's the deal, okay? I know that segment got some of you fired up, okay? And I know some of you are upset. But at the end of the day, I'm actually proud. Okay? I'm proud of you and I'm proud of me because, some serious shit going on in the world and the ability to just fall back into our rhythm and just do what we do best. There's something to be said for that. So I'm proud of us that we were able to just do our thing and get back into it. So I think we all deserve a little bit of love, a little bit of respect on our name. You know what I mean? I'm proud of you. I'm proud of me. We're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. Okay, should we move into some other shit here? So let's talk about freaking Dr. Dooms. Y'all know about Dr. Dooms? Y'all ever heard of Dr. Dooms and what he's going on, the deal with that, So the Russo brothers finally getting in on the teasing here. They posted something on Instagram. I think this was Tuesday night. I did a big video about it yesterday, which went over my thoughts on it. But I figured we'd go over it here, too. We talk about it here. This is on the official Russo Brothers Instagram account. And the caption was, "Doomsday is coming," I believe. Doomsday is coming. Crazy thing to say. And this image here. And it's all blurred out, of course. Now, to me, and I think to many other people, this is so clearly the chalkboard, right? The chalkboard that Reed Richards had in the Fantastic Four movie. And so I figured I would go over this a little bit, tell you what I think is going on here. I did go over this in a big video, so maybe some of you already know my thoughts here. But there's a couple of things I want to point out, a couple of questions I have for you guys, and I would love to know what you think about this as well, okay? So, I will say, first of all, this is cool, okay? It is cool to get a tease like this, and I know, some people get frustrated maybe that like a little thing like this made the kind of news that it did. I would argue, by the way, and I can't quantify this, but I asked some scientists, and they told me that this data is 100% ironclad. This thing from the Russo brothers popped off bigger than James Gunn's announcement for Man of Tomorrow. And that's just what it is. Like, I don't know what that means exactly. You know, this world is fucked up and full of crazy things that are going on here. But science 100% confirmed that this blurry-ass picture of a chalkboard got more engagement and more excitement than James Gunn's multiple posts about his Superman sequel movie, which is crazy. You know what I mean? So let's just put that on the record. Now, in all seriousness, I do actually think this is super cool. It's cool that the Russos are doing this. It does give us something to talk about. And I don't think they're just pulling random shit. Okay? I don't think they're just pulling random shit here. Now, they could be. A lot of you out there also lived through the Infinity War Endgame times, and we all probably recall that one picture of the tables that kind of look like A's. So here's the thing you got to know about the Russos. Okay, the Russos do kind of fuck with us a bit. Classically, I remember one time in an interview, they said that if you looked really, really hard at the scene in Endgame with the portals, you could actually see Nova. Okay? And poor Eric Voss wasted years of his life, and not just the years he was working on trying to find it, but like the stress of that, I think, took years off of his life. And tried to examine every frame and every possible object that was flying in and out of it and all this sort of stuff. Like, my mans went deep on this. And then the Russos were like, yeah, we were just fucking with you, Eric. Damn, poor Eric. Okay, so that's like number one. Also, there was that famous picture of like the tables that kind of look like A's. And we all spent hours and hours, and we spent so much time trying to figure it out. And we to this day, we don't know if it actually means anything, you know? So what is this then? Okay, you Russos, what are you doing to us, man? Are you just fucking with us? This is a blurry-ass picture of the chalkboard. It could be. Okay, it could be. But I got to tell you, I think this is actually more meaningful and more serious than all of those other instances. Okay, now part of the reason why is the context. Okay? So back in the day, during Infinity War and Endgame, by the way, it was actually a part, this was when my channel was really growing. And so I'd like to believe that like the Russo brothers saw a couple of my big videos, and they basically had this reaction of like, oh no, we've made Marvel so big that fucking idiots like this guy Josh can just go on the internet now and yap about rumors and theories and get a lot of views. Oh, fuck, what happened? This is all really bad. We have to go back in time and stop this from happening. So that's kind of like the reaction they had. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is this. I think back then they were fucking with people like me a little bit more. And I think there was also this whole established narrative, all of these established characters, and people had a rough idea of what Infinity War was going to be. But now it's totally different. Now, a lot of people are super confused on what Endgame, or rather what Doomsday could be. And although there are rumors out there, and I certainly have my theories, the truth is it's like a different environment. The questions about Doom are so enormous. It's not like Thanos where we're like, okay, we've seen Thanos. We know a little bit about Thanos. We know about the stones. We kind of can fill in the gaps here. Thanos is going to come get them stones. It's going to be bad. With Doom, we're like, I don't even know why you picked RDJ. Like, that's what people are saying. They're like, I don't even understand this. So I think what I'm trying to tell you is the context of this is different. The Russos must be aware of all the noise, all the and I think, frankly, some of the hate, some of the skepticism about RDJ's Doom, I think they are at least partially aware of that. Okay? And I think this tease here is different than those other teases. And maybe it's just copium, right? Like, maybe I'm just here like, no, this one actually matters, and here's why. And I'm just like figuring it out. But seriously, like, consider that back then things were different. Everybody had all the faith in the world. They were just trying to throw motherfuckers off. This feels different. This feels like not everybody has faith. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of concerns. And this feels like the first time in a while the Russos are taking it upon themselves to use social media to inject something into the conversation. And within that context, to me, it feels like this is different. This is them trying to actually say something. And I think if I'm going to take it even a step further, to me, what it feels like is they're trying to say something about the exact thing that people have an issue with. And that would be Dr. Doom. Okay, so with all of that said, what do I think this actually is? Well, as I said in the video yesterday, I believe this is Reed Richards' chalkboard here. And to me, what it indicates is that Dr. Doom and Reed Richards are going to be working together. Now, a big reason I think that is because I believe there will be a time jump between the post-credit scene of the Fantastic Four movie and when the Fantastic Four enter 616 in Avengers Doomsday. And whether or not it's the exact moment from the end of Thunderbolts or not, which I think it is, but even if it's not, there's a lot of evidence to suggest that there's going to be a time jump. Number one, this has to do with Franklin Richards. Franklin Richards was a newborn and then a 4-year-old in the Fantastic Four film. The casting documents for Doomsday had him aged up to between 10 to 14 years old. So what I think that means is Franklin is going to be aged up. Another thing that I brought up yesterday was there's a image that Pedro Pascal released on his Instagram of some book, right? I think he was trying to get us all to read this book. But if you look past the book and you look at his suit, in the background of that image, it's very clearly an upgraded version of the Fantastic Four suit, a more modern version with like the threading and the sort of plasticky, rubbery look of those suits. Okay. And, after the Fantastic Four movie, the Franklin Richards scene, a lot of folks said, oh, he's just going to grab Franklin and he's going to head off. I don't think so. I continue to think that's not what it is. If that's what it is, then how could he be working with the Fantastic Four? From what we've heard of the rumors, Doom and Reed in the Fantastic Four are going to arrive in 616. He's going to pretend to be Tony Stark. He's basically going to tell the Avengers of 616, hey, I'm a version of Tony Stark, which, in my opinion, is technically true. We'll get into more of that. It's a sort of weird one, hard to explain. But I think ultimately, the Doom RDJ Iron Man thing is that they are variants of each other. It's a bit more complicated than that, but they're variants of each other. So if it's true that Doom and the Fantastic Four show up in 616 and they present that this is a Tony Stark variant and that they all need to work together to stop the collapse of the multiverse, then how could he do that? If he's just taking Franklin, it doesn't make sense. So I don't think he just takes Franklin. Okay? On top of that, in the Secret Wars concept art, which, sure, we don't know for sure if it's 100% real, but you look at that concept art, that looks like an older Franklin Richards. That's not a 4-year-old Franklin Richards. Standing in the throne room with Doom, and I've heard that is Sue. So if that's Sue and Franklin in the throne room with Doom, and he's not a 4-year-old, I mean, there's just a lot to indicate that there's going to be a time jump. Okay? So that's part of why I think at the end of the Fantastic Four movie, and I said this when the film came out, I don't think he's just grabbing Franklin. I think he's there to work with Reed Richards. Now, part of why is because I think one of the only explanations for why Victor was not there in the Fantastic Four film is that he is dealing with the wider problem, the bigger problem, the multiverse. And he likely has some idea of what is going on, and he realizes he needs the help of Reed Richards. Okay? So let's just stop for a second here and ask ourselves a couple of questions. What do we think Doctor Doom needs? If he sees the collapsing of the multiverse, he's trying to stop the collapse of the multiverse. What do we think he needs? Well, the first thing that you would ask is like the bangles, right? Now, this was something that was being set up. It's obviously important to the Marvels. Miss Marvel, potentially causal time travel. So Doom could potentially need the bangles for causal time travel, which would be really interesting, right? But otherwise, if it's just because he can get into different dimensions and shit like that, I don't think he needs the bangles anymore. And I think the Thunderbolts post-credit scene proves that he doesn't. And to take it a step further, I've been told that they're going to use Franklin to travel between universes. So it's likely the case that what's really happened is Doom and Reed are studying the multiverse, studying Galactus's technology, and adjusting the bridge to be able to use Franklin's power to travel from universe to universe. And I think that this thing right here with the Russos, I think this little thing with the chalkboard, I believe that's the tease of it. And the thing that's really cool about this is it means we're going to get a Science Bros type of a scene between Doom and Reed. And I think this is brilliant because it's one of the things that like people are really upset about, right? People look at the RDJ Dr. Doom thing, and one of the complaints is, well, we're not going to get Reed and Doom. And if you're doing this Tony Stark thing, you're taking away the Reed and Doom thing. And I know this is a hard way to, like, it's a hard thing to kind of wrap your head around. But ultimately, like this, if it's true, and I think it is, this is how you establish the character development between these two. It's the Science Bros of Reed and Doom working together. It's perhaps this dark secret that Reed is holding on to because he knows maybe the potential actual intentions of Victor. It's very interesting, okay? And so I think this is a tease aimed at the exact discourse around RDJ. And I think this is a little wink that you will, as a Marvel fan, you actually will get Doom and Reed together. Maybe we get a little montage. Maybe that's how the film opens. And they are going to work together using their brilliance to figure out how to build, potentially it's the TVA itself, frankly, is what they're building. But we will see. And there's a lot more mystery. There's a lot of other interesting aspects to this. But overall, I think a cool tease from the Russos, my opinion, is that it means that Reed and Doom are going to have a relationship, and they did work together in the interim. And that we're going to see that pay off in the Doomsday film. So that's what I think is going to... Chat, what do you think about this? Like, do you think I'm crazy? Do you think this is what it is? Like, what do you think of this? He needs to get to the TVA. The rumor about the fight scene at Steve and Peggy's house is true. That's probably how he initially finds out about the multiverse TVA. Yes, something like that for sure. You know, I actually want to talk about in a second here what I think is going on with Steve Rogers. Okay, so after this segment, I'm just going to tell you my full-ass theory about what's going on with Steve Rogers. Oh, 8 out of 10 take. You don't know. You don't know. And by the way, Adam, you're still on for Monday? My tower going to blast your Space Wolves into fucking Ragnarok or whatever it's called. Solve everything. Incursions work together. All hope lies in Doom, hero of the movie, and the villain twist at the very end. Illuminati vs. 616 extra movie. Yeah, you could be onto something there, actually. The most interesting part of that is how the Doctor Strange 3 or the Illuminati film could help to tie this all together. Yeah. That take was awful, Josh. Oh, sorry, Master Choda. My bad. Honestly, Josh, Marvel should wait for the trailer if it's actually going to be good promotion. No hate, by the way, just a suggestion. Oh, yeah, maybe. I mean, this just feels like a little tease of something that we're already interested in. But I see your point. Franklin is healing Doom's face and being scarred from the... No. Do you think that Tom Cruise will be in any movie as Superior Iron Man? I don't know. I mean, I know that was something they were trying to do at one point, right? But it fell apart for various reasons. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I hate the Vanity Doom. What do you mean, the Vanity Doom? I don't know what that means. My name is Doom. So then maybe sing the Russo song. What? Doom has seen Reed's work and has thought about it in ways Reed hasn't. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, that's probably true. Doom concerned with his vanity. So the way that I view, I mean, sure, part of it is the vanity thing, but it's pride. It's like, to me, it's a pride thing. It's not exactly the same thing, but yeah. Talking about movies that are over a year away more than Demon Slayer awesomeness is wild. Infinity Castle. Dude, I'm so excited for Infinity Castle. Within 4 hours from now, I will be watching Infinity Castle on a dope-ass screen in a big D-box seat, filling my gut with popcorn and milk duds. Woo! I can't wait. Mark Vedito. Welcome to the Nerd Vengers, Mark. You are a Nerd Venger now. You've taken your first steps into a larger world. Welcome, Mark! This can come full circle, as they've been to the original creators, the TVA and Kang, keeping them in their own universes, so always happens. Yeah, something like that. I see what you're cooking. I see what you're cooking there. If Tremel Tillman is Kang, then the Russos are going to be able to cook with no issues. Yeah, I agree, yeah. Yeah, man. You turned me into a nerd venger. Ever since I found you, I became a super nerd for Marvel. Nice, man. Hope you've been enjoying it. Sing it or nah? Sing what? What do you want me to sing? Question, Josh. If Doom's the villain, who will be the final protagonist? Fight. Spider-Man, Mr. Fantastic, or Iron Man? It'll be Iron Man. It'll be Iron Man. Josh, have you watched Peacemaker? No. It's over here. The Russo's back, and they're gonna save Marvel. Hey now, the Russo's back. Rivals new season tomorrow. Yeah, man, but they don't drop the new character tomorrow, right? It's just the new modes and shit. Please watch it. I'm good, man. I'm good. You got a Tanjiro Katana Cup. Ooh, I hope they have them where I'm going, man. I hope they have them where I'm going, dude. Hell yeah. Wrestle Avengers. I don't know. I'm interested in that, though. What is that, a Saturday? Is that a Saturday? Is there any nerdy stuff you want to cover in the future that you haven't before? You know, one of the things that I'm kind of interested in is a lot of the live-action anime stuff, the live-action video game stuff. It seems like that's the next big wave. They just announced they're going to do like a live action My Hero Academia. Like, dude, Hollywood's just going for it. And it doesn't mean they're going to do it right, but they are going for it. So like some of the things on like the Zelda movie, I'm pretty interested in. Gears of War movie, if they'll do anything with Halo. Mass Effect, obviously Warhammer. There's live action Gundam stuff. Man, there's like a lot of video game movies and a lot of anime movies that they're trying to make right now. So. Yeah. Are you excited for Fallout Season 2? Hell yeah, man. I'm very, very interested in that. Fallout for Season 1 was incredible. Loved it. I got to play Marvel Tokon early. You son of a beach! I'm so jealous, man. Game looks incredible. Shit, that game looks incredible. Saw a clip of the fan-made live-action My Hero, and it's fire. Hey, if they do it right with the right visual effects and the right money behind it, it could be awesome. It's just hard to know. Hard to know if they'll be able to figure it out. Fallout is titties. Fallout's great, dude. Fallout is great. All right, so let's leave that one there with Dr. Doom and Reed Richards. Y'all think that I'm onto something there? I don't know. We'll see. Oh, we're back. Sorry. Gotta let go of the 4K, brother. It's not worth it. No, we'll figure it out. I'll look into it. This wasn't happening, and then all of a sudden it was happening. It's the interdimensional beings, man. It's these interdimensional imps. You know, they're always around here fucking with me. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Look, I got one more clip for y'all today, so we're crashing this bitch one more time. You know what I mean? Woo! What's the sigil on your shirt? So this is like it's a Dark Angel symbol, but it's honestly a symbol that all the Space Marines have. It's just the iconography of death with sort of combined with the Aquila. So yeah. Because the Space Marines are first called the Emperor's Angels or the Angels of Death. They adopt the iconography of being like harbingers of death, you know. So, all right. Anyway, let's talk about some shit, man. Okay, I got a thing to say about Steve Rogers and Doctor Doom, and also He Who Remains. I think I'm onto something here. I think this will be interesting to you. At the very least, these are thoughts that maybe you've had as well with some of the new leaks and the rumors that are out there. So let me try to articulate it, make sense of it. And I think we're kind of cooking here. Okay, I think we're cooking here. Now, this all pertains to the character of Doctor Doom, RDJ's Doctor Doom, and the motivations behind him. Okay, so Doom is the villain. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Doctor Doom is the villain of Avengers Doomsday, and seemingly also the villain of Avengers Secret Wars. Okay? So he's the big bad. He's the villain. Okay, so we all know that. What's his motivation? What is his motivation? What is making Doctor Doom take the actions that he's going to take within this movie? What is going to lead him to becoming God Emperor Doom? That's a thing. Many of us believe it will happen at the end of Doomsday. We're going to get Battleworld created. And then after that, Doom will be Emperor of that. God Emperor, probably. Some kind of very, very powerful. Very, very powerful, okay? So the question is, what is the motivation? Well, right now, there's basically two theories as to the motivation. They both come from different insiders, okay? One comes from Alex Perez. One comes from My Time to Shine Hello. So we're gonna discuss this. Let's talk about this. So Alex Perez's comments, which predate Shine's, been around for a while, and to be completely fair, are actually connected to Kang and to the Kang dynasty. And it appears that what Alex is describing is a lot of stuff that was originally intended for the Kang character that Alex describes as being just carried over to the Doom character. Okay? So as we're all trying to like figure this out, this is kind of Alex's take on it. His take was that Doom will discover that the real multiverse doesn't exist anymore, and that there was a real multiverse called the Prime Universe or the Prime Multiverse, which had all of the heroes together. This is the true version of the multiverse, and He Who Remains was responsible for changing it, for making that universe go away, and for creating the new state of the multiverse, which was there's a sacred timeline, and then there's the multiverse, and there's all the plans to make it so that the sacred timeline is just all that there is. So at the end of time, somebody is making sure that the timeline goes the way that it does. If there is another multiversal war, it'll end the same way that it did, and there will be another sacred timeline created. So what Alex was saying, and he said this in like various different posts, various different commentary that he gave, but it all was essentially this idea that Doom would realize that this version of the multiverse was not real. Okay? It was not real. And therefore, he wanted to take vengeance. And I think one of the ways that Alex described it was he will be motivated by the fact that his universe was discarded for the sake of the sacred timeline. And that He Who Remains and his tampering was the motivation. That's what was going to connect to Doom. So like Doom, obviously, like, yes, multiverse collapsing. This is very bad. Incursion's bad. We have to navigate it. But ultimately that like the real motivation for Doom would be connected to him understanding the truth of the sacred timeline and how it was a manipulation. Okay. Now, months and months and months and months later, we get all this stuff from My Time to Shine Hello. Now, Shine's version of this is that Doom is going after Steve Rogers. Okay? And that the motivation for Doom is that Steve Rogers, when he went back to live with Peggy Carter, created the incursions, and Doom wants to kill him to stop the incursions from happening, to stop his family from dying, and that's the motivation. Okay, so listen, just at a base level here, which one of these sounds more real? Right? Like, just think about it. One of these sounds kind of viable. One of these sounds fucking ridiculous. And that's why when this first came out, right? Like when Shine was first talking about this, when I first started to hear about this, I was mad because it's silly. It seems like a stupid, silly, like one of these sounds really good. One of the sounds fucking awful. Okay? But here's the thing. I don't think that Shine is completely wrong about this, but I think she is wrong about this. It's not that she's completely wrong about it because Steve, here's the thing. Steve and Peggy is so obviously connected to what this is. And we've talked about this over the past couple of weeks a lot too, right? All the comments from Michael Waldron around the time of Loki and the dodging of the questions about Steve Rogers and Peggy, all of that dodging definitely makes it seem like this is a real thing. You go back and watch Endgame, which a lot of people have been doing, by the way. There's like top 4, or they're in the top 10 of, the overall Disney Plus thing. A lot of people are going back to revisit that, I think, because of this rumor and seeing that there was obviously something going on there, that when Steve did this, it caused something going on in the multiverse. It wasn't supposed to happen. Okay? So obviously there's something to Peggy Carter and there is something to Steve Rogers. I think that's undeniable. There's something about it. But I also think that Alex is correct. I think Alex is correct. So then the question becomes, how do you marry this? How do you square the circle? How do you make sense of this? Okay? So there's a couple of different ways that we can kind of go over this, right? I want you to just think about the character of Doctor Doom. Now, this might be a different version than the comic book version of Doctor Doom, and that's par for the course with Marvel. They make their own versions of characters. They will change characters from the comics often, okay? But here's the thing. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that RDJ's Doctor Doom is the definitive Doctor Doom and is exactly the Doctor Doom you would expect from the comics. They're making him look like the Doctor Doom from the comics. He's going to have the backstory of the Doctor Doom from the comics. And as far as many people have explained it, insiders, scoopers, and people, this is the definitive Doctor Doom. Okay? So if it is the definitive Doctor Doom, then it's more or less the Victor we know from the comics. So if we think about that, and we just think about the character of Victor, what are some attributes of this character? Well, number one, he thinks he knows best. Now, it's debatable if he actually does know best. I would argue he knows better than almost anyone else. And that in a lot of instances, yes, Doctor Doom does actually know best. Number two, he rarely asks for help. Doom has asked for help. He's actually asked Doctor Strange for help more than he's asked Reed Richards for help in the history of comics, multiple different times where he needs the help of the Sorcerer Supreme. But Doom has asked for help before. Owen Reese, the Molecule Man, in the Hickman run. Yeah, Doom has asked for help before in comics, but it's very rare. He doesn't like to do that. Number three, he feels justified in ruling the universe, but actually the multiverse. Okay, so these are the attributes of Doctor Doom. He's very prideful, thinks he knows best. He very rarely asks for help. And he feels justified in ruling and controlling the universe of the multiverse. Okay, so then if that's the character, let's think about these two things that are going on. Let's think about what Shine and Alex are saying again. So let's first start with the 616 was not real. If that character, that prideful character that wants to control, that thinks they know best, that doesn't seek help, if that character looks out into the multiverse and realizes that the sacred timeline is false and that he and his existence was treated as like second tier, like was separate, was not, he's diminished. His relevance to the multiverse is downplayed and diminished. He was separated out from the sacred timeline, from the prime universe, by He Who Remains. If he discovers that, do you think that character would be mad about that, given all the things we just stated about him. Yeah, obviously. So it's obviously the case that a character of Victor, if this is truly just atypical comic book Victor Von Doom, if he learns about the multiverse being false, if he learns that his existence was considered second tier to the prime sacred timeline universe, right? That's obviously going to be something that pisses him off. Well, how about this? Let's ask the thing about Steve Rogers. Would the Doom we know, based on everything we just said, if he understood that Steve Rogers on the sacred timeline went back and lived out a life with Peggy Carter, and that caused incursions, and that was the beginning of the end of the multiverse, do you think that Doom, given everything we know about the character, would react in a way to want to go kill Steve Rogers, stop the incursions, and preserve this version of the multiverse? I would argue no. Because the thing about Doom is that he feels justified. He thinks he knows best, and he feels justified in ruling and creating it. If Doom knows the multiverse is false, I don't see why he would want to preserve a false multiverse. There's no way he would want to do that. And in Doom's mind, he would probably feel justified in destroying the fake shit completely and rebuilding it from scratch. Because that's what he did in Hickman's Secret Wars, and he felt justified in doing that. He feels justified in becoming the God Emperor because he thinks if he's controlling everything, it won't collapse. It won't fail. There won't be another multiversal war. There won't be incursions, all of that. Okay? So I cannot see any scenario in which what Shine is saying about the Doctor Doom character and the Steve Rogers thing makes any sense except for one explanation. There's only one thing to me that makes this make sense at all. Okay? And to me, the only thing that makes sense, the only reason is if Steve Rogers found out the truth about the multiverse in the same way that Doom did, and he realizes that Steve makes a choice to not change anything. And not only that, but Steve makes the choice to go back into the sacred timeline to make sure that it remains the way that it does. And it's possible that any changes that Doom would want to make to the universe would be cut off at the pass by Steve. It's almost like by going back into the sacred timeline and knowing how things are supposed to go, it is possible that Steve Rogers became the person that made sure the sacred timeline stayed the way that it was. So the way I'm thinking of it is this. Basically, nobody knows the truth of the multiverse. Kang knows the truth. He knows what really happened before the multiversal war, before the sacred timeline and all of that. It seems like some of the variants have like memories of it, echoes of memories of it, you know, and maybe memories of like their war and stuff like that, right? We can kind of see that. Maybe Miss Minutes knows the truth. But what I would imagine happen is as Steve returns the stones, leaving the sacred timeline, I would imagine Steve probably comes face to face with this wider realization of what the sacred timeline actually is and how manipulated it was. And I think like what Doom will probably, so here's what I think it is, plain and simple. I think Doom views Steve Rogers as a person that learned the truth about the multiverse and did nothing. Learned about the truth about who Doctor Doom actually was, learned about the truth of who Iron Man actually was on the sacred timeline. Steve had the knowledge that this was all fake. He had the ability to change it, and he decided not to. He decided to instead reinforce the sacred timeline, making sure that Tony, who I think, again, is probably a Victor Von Doom variant that gets adopted by the Starks, right? Because think about it like this, okay? If my theory is correct, if Victor because here's what I think is going on. Tony Stark, RDJ Stark, was not actually Tony Stark. In the Sacred Timeline, he is Victor Von Doom, just like he is Victor Von Doom in 828. The difference is, in the Sacred Timeline, actual Tony Stark dies. Either in childbirth or maybe a miscarriage or, something like that. So actual Tony Stark dies. Victor Von Doom as a variant is quietly adopted by the Starks and raised to be Tony Stark. Okay, now I know that's really fucking crazy. Not everybody thinks that it's real, okay? But consider that it could be real, okay? Then what Doom is mad at Steve Rogers about is that Steve Rogers found out the truth, and instead of trying to put things back the way that they were, Steve decides to actually go throughout the entire timeline from the 60s before the actual Tony Rogers. God damn it, we're fucking this up. Before Tony Stark is born, Steve is in the Sacred Timeline from the future. And he's making sure that Howard and all of these things go the way they're supposed to do. And he's probably there to make sure that Howard adopts the boy, to make sure that the timeline goes the way that he remembers it, that this person that is not actually Tony Stark is raised to become Tony Stark. Everything hinges on that actually happening. And so Steve Rogers in the future goes back in time and becomes a shepherd for the Sacred Timeline and the very control mechanisms that he remains had placed on it. And Doom hates him for it. And he also understands that if he actually does want to take control of the Sacred Timeline, he has to go kill Steve before he does all of this. Because Steve is the other time traveler on the 616 that knows how things are supposed to go. Does any of that make any sense? Did any of this shit that I just said make any fucking sense at all? Did it make sense at all? Does anybody understand what I'm saying here? Yes. Okay. Yes. So Steve becomes the person that's holding it all together. And the reason that influence isn't going to change anything. So what Doom needs to do, if he wants to actually take control of the Sacred Timeline, is stop Steve. There's a couple of ways this could be happening. It's like maybe Steve becomes the new anchor being, or there's something about him being there that is like a force that Doom can't fuck with. Do you see what I mean? So, look, it's absurd to think that Dr. Doom is going to come out on the opening scene of Doomsday and be like, you liked Avengers Endgame, but it fucking destroyed my family. So now I'm after your favorite hero, Steve Rogers. And that happy ending he had with Peggy Carter, well, I'm going to go fuck that up. And then he like looks away from the camera and we're like, oh shit, let's go. No, that's not what it is. That's stupid. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Okay? Instead, it will be connected to the truth about the Sacred Timeline. And I think Doom wants to change the Sacred Timeline, obviously. Think about the character, as we said, right? He wants to change it. He wants to make it the way that he thinks it should be. Steve Rogers is obviously an obstacle to that. That's why. That's why he wants to kill him. Does that make sense? And again, it's just a theory, right? We're just spitballing, we're just speculating. But I'm telling you, man, like, I think that this all tracks. I think if you think about this logically, you'd probably be like, yeah, no, maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. It echoes the Illuminati and what they did to Cap. Yes, I like that as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. I think that's a cool aspect to it as well. Yeah. I mean, what do you guys think? Why did you mention Paradox in Twitter? What do you mean? I don't... What? 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 They need Josh in a writer's room. Well, they got great writers, man. I think they actually are thinking of some of the same things I'm thinking about. Not the biggest fan of this theory. So the most iconic icon ever is a variant of Doom is kind of lame. Yeah, and I get that pushback a lot. Here's my sort of rebuttal to that is what you're not understanding is that by bringing this into question, by saying... What makes Iron Man Iron Man? Is it his DNA? Is it the biology? Is it the fact that he was born of Howard Stark and Howard's wife? Or is it the fact that he was raised around Howard Stark? Is it the fact that he took an interest in technology? Is it the fact that he's a genius? Is it the fact that his choices... Like, the question becomes about the identity of Iron Man. And you might say, oh, dude, this sucks. Like, that means he was always Doctor Doom. No, you're missing the point. It means he was always Iron Man because of his choices. And he also was probably very close to being Doom every single time because he's actually Victor Von Doom, right? And you don't have to like that. You might say, like, I don't like that. That's fine. To me, like, when I think about this, it actually emphasizes it. And it's bold. I think it's bold. It's interesting. You know, I think that almost every other version of this is so much more lame. Like, some people are like, oh, he's just going to take the face of RDJ. I don't know, man. I think if they fucking wheel out RDJ as Doom on San Diego thing and we get us all fucking excited and they call the movie Doomsday and all this shit and it's literally dead ass just going to be, oh, yeah, he stole his face. I'm going to be fucking pissed. I think that's stupid as shit. You know what I mean? And then this other idea that, like, oh, they got another actor to play Doctor Doom. Really? Like, you guys prefer that? You really want that instead? Oh, they got Doctor Doom, brought him out here, did all this hoopla and all this stuff, and then it's just going to be, you know, some other actor. And you think my theory sucks? Holy shit, the lack of imagination. It's crazy to me. Like, that's crazy. But, you know, hey. Everybody's free to have their own feeling and their own opinion about it, right? Steve says, hey, yo, Unite. Hey, appreciate you, Steve. Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope you're doing well. My life feels like a sad cycle of drinking water, peeing constantly. Everything in the middle is just a phase. That's one way to look at it. I don't necessarily like that framing. But, yeah, I mean, I guess that's one way to look at it, yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll let you simmer on that one. I think there's a lot of the vibe I'm picking up in chat right now is kind of like this vibe of like, God damn. Like, I feel like a lot of you guys are like chewing on that one. You know, like people are dead ass like, God damn, like, shit. God damn. Yeah. Yeah. Chewing on it. Yeah. Uh-oh, did it crash again? We didn't crash this time? What? No crashing? Let's go! Let's fucking go! Yeah! I'm chewing on Warhammer. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. The Russo brothers did say it was challenging to the audience. That's quite a challenging, especially for normies. Yep. I agree, man. I think that's a big feather in the cap of the theory as well. That phrasing of like challenging the audiences is really interesting. Yeah. What about the other way around? Doom is a Stark variant. Well, so the only problem with that, and I'm willing to accept that that's what it is, but I'll say this. If that's what it is, the messaging from Marvel has been really off. Because, like, Feige's talked about how he's the definitive Doctor Doom. There's an interview with RDJ where, like, he kind of implies that they said they needed to nail Doctor Doom first before going into any other weirdness, that it had to be Doctor Doom. The Russos have also said several times at this point that, like, it's definitive. So I guess what I would ask you is, like, how do you make sense of all of those comments if it's the other way around? Right? And if you have an explanation for it, that's dope. I'd love to know. Science says, love being here for the theory crafting. This is what it's all about. Nature versus nurture. Exactly. It's nature versus nurture. And I think that is fine. I think that is a challenging thing, but I think that is an appropriate thing to do with such an iconic character. Yeah. 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 Okay, guys, I'm not gonna be hanging out here. Maybe your stream only crashes when you're wrong. Hey, maybe. Let me catch up on some of these soupy chats here. I know we had some people in the beginning here. Morning, Josh, and all the Nerd Avengers. Be excellent to each other, says Rossi. Appreciate you, man. Boo this man, says Rossi. What the hell? I love it when you stream, bro. Much love, everyone. I'm on day 11 without a day off, so watching after work, says Zach. Oh, man, that's tough. Hope you get a break soon, brother. Thank you, man. Pitch Perfect Field with Phil says, thank you for streaming today. I grew up and still live about 5 minutes away from... Ooh, that is tough, brother. Been rough lately. Yeah, man. I mean, I said what I said, and, you know, I got a lot of love for the people in the community. Some people are taking it particularly hard, and it is a challenging thing. Everybody grieves in their own way. So, yeah, man, totally. Stark Raving Rad says, longtime lurker, always appreciate your perspective, whether nerdy or real. Much love, Josh. Hey, thanks, man. And then Joshua says, so your RDJ Doom theory makes even more sense when you think about the fact that Kang needed Victor, Tony, to invent time travel so that he could exist. Yes, I think that's part of it, yeah. I think that'll end up being part of it. Only love can conquer hate. Yes, that is true. I love Howard Stern and Josh. Okay, good. I'm glad. I'm going to sneeze. That's why he called Howard Stern. He said, my name is Gunn. Yes, that is true, actually. That happened. The first Doomsday trailer is going to hit like crack. Oh, brother. Oh, bro, I can't wait. Oh, that stream? The stream after the first Doomsday trailer? That shit's going to hit like crack, bro. We're going to break a record. I'm telling you. We will break a record. Oh, I can't wait, dude. It's going to be awesome. Let's see here. Maybe your stream only crashes when you're wrong. Hey, you don't say that. Hey, you don't say that. All right, let's chill for a little bit, man, and then we'll get on out of here. But I got to tell you, I'm very excited for this Demon Slayer thing. Can I share with you just a little bit of this Demon Slayer news here? This is pretty interesting, man. So I'm over on an article here in Deadline. It says Demon Slayer Infinity Castle opening projections are all over the map, but an anime record is in store. Now, this is due to some other reporting out there where Box Office Theory was saying this thing could open between $60 to $80 million domestic this weekend. Okay, so the article reads, this September is looking forward to another weekend that's bound to overperform at the box office, led by Crunchyroll/Sony Pictures' Demon Slayer Infinity Castle, which is expected to overtake Warner Brothers' 1999 Pokemon the First Movie, $31 million, as the weekend opening ever for an anime film stateside. Tracking distribution sources et al. Are wild with their projections. Sony is forecasting $35 million. We told you that the advanced ticket sales for the first 4 days back in mid-August stood at $10 million. Again, in advanced tickets for an anime movie, we're told the figure is now way higher. Many saying it's at least 15 plus in pre-sales. Other sources believe that the Infinity Saga has the potential to open to 45 to 60 million over Friday to Sunday. Previews begin Thursday at 4 p.m. I'll be there at 4, baby. Can't wait. Okay, now it goes on to talk about why are people like saying it could be so high, and it has to do with how motivated the anime fans seem and how a lot of that's going to be probably walk-up business is what they're projecting. And this happened with the other movies too. This happened with Superman and Fantastic Four as well. Remember how off the tracking was in these huge ranges because people are just not sure how to track the modern audience and how they're interacting with the theaters and shit, right? So anyway, point is, dude, this shit's taking that record either way, okay? And if this thing gets over 50 million, oh my God, the times they are a-changing. If this thing gets to 80 million, holy crap, the times have changed. Like, it's just already changed. It's over. I am so excited for this movie. And the craziest thing about this, guys, and I want you to really figure this out, because this is some Marvel energy. This is some Endgame Infinity War energy. This is the first of a trilogy. A lot of people, and maybe some of you right now in chat, are literally just hearing about this. For the first time, you are hearing how popular this is, how many people are interested in this, that this is a thing. And that's just like what happened with Marvel. Over time, it became a thing. And then everybody had to check out Endgame. Everybody. If this movie operates the way that people think it's going to, and the next one does a little better, this third movie could be breaking live action movie records. And this, I think, shows, it's a little early to tell, right? But this could show a serious change in the media appetite for the worldwide audience. A lot has been said over the past year, maybe the past couple of years, of how popular anime is becoming, and it's been kind of hard to quantify. But I think this right here might be the first sign of like, oh shit, it is actually that big. There are that many audience members around the world that motivated to go check this thing out. And I'm excited, man. I'm not only am I excited to actually watch this thing, I'm excited to be a part of it. The discourse, I'll give you my thoughts on it tomorrow, of course. But I'm hopeful and I'm really excited to see how big this could pop off this weekend. I think the fans need shit like this. You know, so much of it, the stories this year were Marvel and even DC underperforming and comic book movie genre fatigue, this, that, second, and the third. I think fandom in general needs some stuff to be excited about. We need some stuff that we can all, you know, experience together, talk about, get hyped. I'm really interested to see just how far this pops off this weekend. And I'm really excited to check the movie out myself in just a little bit here. So I just wanted to talk about that. Yeah, Demon Slayer. Toxic says, a Disney Marketing Expo did some light show with a maybe new look at Doctor Doom, seeing it on Twitter. What the fuck? What in tarnation? A Disney light show? A Disney light show? What should I search? Disney Marketing Expo. An official Avengers Doomsday light show was showcased at the Walt Disney in Shanghai. Well, looks like we're gonna have to crash the stream again. Hey man, will you fill out a DC KO bracket on stream? I absolutely will, but not today, brother. Let's see here. Doomsday Marketing Expo. So you think Steve thinks he's protecting the timeline, but he's actually reinforcing? Yes. So Doom needs to take him out? Yes, brother. That's what I think's going on. Yep. Okay, so hang on just a gosh dang second here. All right, let's pause this. Okay, this is weird. This is weird. So somebody in chat was just talking about this. This is a light show, some kind of Marvel light show. It says an official Avengers Doomsday light show was showcased at the Walt Disney Studio Marketing Expo in Shanghai. What in tarnation? So it's like a laser light show thing. Where's the lights? Somebody turn the lights on. There's no lights here. Whoa, oh, there's some lights. This is cool. Okay. Okay, what? Oh, wait, what? Oh, what? Oh my God. It's Dr. Doom? Dr. Doom's mask? Oh shit. Oh shit. Looks kind of badass. What is this? They should have just did a art sketch and dropped it on a random Wednesday and they called into Howard Stern. They're doing too much here, you know? This is... And he's on the throne? What is this? Dude. What? What the fuck was that? Wait a minute, what? What the hell? What is going on here? I mean, dude, kind of looking badass. Kind of looking badass. He's kind of aura farming. Shattered pieces being pulled together. What the hell is this? Dude, what? Are those the doors? What is that? Hang on now. What the fuck is that? And why does it look like Vormir a little? What? Now he's doing some magic. Okay, hang on now. He's doing some magic. Wait, what? It's a 10 ring? The fuck? He's got the 10 rings, dude? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? What the fuck? And that 10 rings are doing something? And then I got the purple Black Panther shit? Wait, what? Fantastic Four shit. Oh man, they should have just did a sketch and called into Howard Stern. This is too much. X-Men. What the fuck? What? What is this? Okay, so there's a couple of things we gotta see here. This is way more than I thought. All right. So this is just the mask, right? The mask and the hood. And it does seem like, we're not 100% sure, but it does seem like this is the actual look for it. I've seen other designs and stuff like that. They really want it to be. It actually looks a lot like the toy they just did, the mask, with the, sort of the pointiness there. Yeah, this is wild. And I think it looks great here, particularly like with the eyes there. If they can get that vibe in the movie. I mean, this is obviously very, you know, I don't know what the word is. It's all like, looks like cell shaded, like it's very geometrical, not, it's stylized. It's not, you know, it's not exactly live action. But dude, I love that design. I hope it's exactly like that with the intricacies there. That mask is cool, dude. And it's so much better than the mask that was in that post-credit scene for Fantastic Four. Why does one of his things have a star and the other one not? That's kind of weird. And he's on a throne of sorts. What was that? That's the Scarlet Witch, isn't it? Hang on, chat. No, it looks like it's Doom ripping the fucking skull. It's Doom ripping the fucking spine, dude. Oh my god. But then it goes red. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, but he turns into Iron Man. Doesn't he? Bro, what the fuck was that? Hang on, man. They got different versions of Doom there, dude. Where's that Iron Man? Okay, so it must be back here. It's like a second, like blink and you miss it. That's him ripping the spine for sure. Okay, but here's the thing. This is they probably made them hold back on this because it just feels like it's a split second. It's a little tease, and what it looks like to me is it's like him ripping the spine, but doesn't it look like he's turning into Iron Man? That's what it looks like to me, is like his legs, because it's like red and it almost looks like he's like turning into Iron Man, but maybe they like made them remove it. That could be just like a leftover couple frames, or maybe they were told to remove everything else. That is interesting, dude. A lot of glitching. Oh, they're showing it. Okay, so they said it again, dude. They have it again. Right there, you see? Like, it pops up again. What the fuck? Right there. I like this too. I hope he like moves around like that. That's very just aura farming. And so, you know what's interesting about this is it looks like a bunch of shattered dimensions or shattered universes. And it's like pulling it together. A lot of people mentioned this too, but Marvel Rivals with Doom and the shattered universes, and it's like Doom versus Doom and shit like that. It did feel like that was at least sort of a spiritual resemblance to what the MCU was cooking, maybe. So kind of wild that they're doing it here too with like the shattered, because I think that's probably what's going to happen is like the multiverse will be shattered. Doom will pull the pieces together. That's what Battleworld is, right? And this feels like he's doing that, pulling it all together, right? Spinning. I don't know what the fuck that is. Looks like some telepathic shit. And this to me looks like Vormir. Okay, this looks like the statue between them. Somebody double check me if somebody can pull up an image of Vormir. Let's see here. Da, 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 da. Na, 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 na. Where's the actual statues here? Anybody got an image? Doctor Doom issue #1 came out last week. It's sick. Yeah, let me see here. Okay, so it's different. It's different on Vormir. So here, let me... So it's different. This is the Vormir image. So like what I was thinking is the top, I just remember this, right, in the actual film. There's a circle on the bottom of it. So like this is a good... This is a good look at the bottom. And so it felt like that was a little similar to this. So maybe, is this maybe in... We should check the Eternal stuff. Or is this Wonder Gore? Hang on now. Ooh. So Wonder Core looks different, but it's more similar than the other one. Here, let me pull this up for you guys. You guys see that? Right. So the difference is there's a slit there. There's no slit here, at least that we can see. Although it does look there's a slit if you look at it a little more closely. Quite interesting, isn't it? All right, well, let's get back into this, though. Somebody look at the World Forge, too. See if that's in the World Forge. This is really interesting. This looks like the 10 rings. And he's like infusing them with power or something. And then that's definitely the 10 rings. But it's also similar to the obelisk. So we've seen this several times. So this is in the first Doctor Strange movie when they're trying to harness power from the dark dimension. They do this and they're holding some kind of like spinning obelisk thing. This is used on the ships of Kang. The Eternals also have this. Like here, I'll show you this. This is just kind of interesting. This is from the World Forge itself right here. Can you guys see this? So you see that tech, 10 rings, celestial technology. It's the obelisks that are atop of the World Forge. So I'm just saying, like, I think that is, I think that's what we're doing here. This, though, is new. What is this? Some Loki shit? Some Wanda shit? Some magic shit? What is this symbol? This is important, man. Come on, y'all. What is this? What the hell is this? Just did a link that Trev did. It's probably bad. Let me look at it over here so you guys can't see. Huh? Mirror? What are you talking about? What is this, man? Loki horns? Yeah, it looks like it, huh? Dormammu shit? It could just be a rune, right? It definitely has some Loki vibes, though. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure this one out. I think there's something to that. That's for sure. And it looks like the 10 rings are like around it. Shattered universes. The Shattered Universe is the Avengers universe. Wakandan universe, maybe? That's where the T'Challa will come from. Fantastic Four universe, maybe? X-Men universe. Shattered universe. That's kind of what it looks like to me. That's cool, man. What the hell? On a random ass day, man? They probably should have just dropped some comic book art and then called into the Howard Stern show. You know what I mean? That's what I think. This is crazy, though. Holy. Did we crash it? Did it crash? See, you guys were all talking shit like, oh, dude, Josh, no, your PC, you're going to need a new computer, this, that, second, and third. Nope. We got it figured out. We got it sorted, baby. We got it sorted, baby. Okay, I got to get out of here soon. Chinese Fan Expo? Okay, cool. I think the TVA is the Baxter building arced out. Maybe. Could absolutely be. They do seem very similar with their tech. Man, that's crazy. What do y'all think of that? That's weird, huh? Oh, what? What happened here? That's crazy, bro. I like that music too. Is that the theme, dude? That is kind of nice. Like, listen to that. Here, let me pause this. The very beginning of this is like kind of nice. Oh shit! And then the beat drops. This is kind of nice. They're cooking. They are cooking, dude. I like that music. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, guys, I got to get out of here soon because I'm going to go watch the anime movie. I'll let you guys know how it is. Do have some cool clips, which I'll get working so that you can have those as well. Yeah, we'll be back at it tomorrow. More of a regular, normal stream tomorrow. Regular length. Yeah, so we'll do a bunch of fun stuff tomorrow, guys. Oh, by the way, chat, I actually said I would do a little, isn't that music from Ultimate Alliance? I don't know. I just know it's a fucking bop, okay? I'm not an app on your phone. Yeah, regular girth as well. So here's the thing. I said I would do a makeup stream for you guys. And what I'm going to do is Saturday morning, I'm going to drive around and I'm going to get breakfast sandwiches from a whole bunch of like fast food joints. And then Saturday morning, I'm going to do a stream. And I'm going to do a tier list of all of the egg sandwiches, the basic breakfast sandwiches for all of the fast food restaurants. So we're going to do that on Saturday. Should be fun. It's just going to be fun. Just a nice little fun stream where I taste a bunch of food and tell you if I like it or not. So look out for that on Saturday. And feel terrible the rest of the day. Yes, I'm going to take a nap right after the stream. Jack Murray, welcome to the Nerd Ventures, baby. You are a Nerd Venture now. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Which places? Well, we'll hit all the basic ones, right? I think Wendy's has. So we'll do Wendy's. We'll do Chick-fil-A. We'll do Burger King. We'll do McDonald's. What else should we do? What are the other ones? Does Taco Bell have breakfast? Dunkin', yeah. I mean, I could do like a basic breakfast sandwich, like on Dunkin'. We could do that. Sonic, does Sonic have good breakfast? Tim Hortons, true. Yeah, I might as well. You know what? Because you got to put the coffee with it too. The coffee has to be a part of it. So we'll judge on the coffee. Taco Bell has breakfast and it's so bad. Okay. We'll hit a bunch of those places, yeah. You're going to spend 2 hours just getting all this food. Yeah, but it's a little project that I'm going to do. A little project. And I told Liam I would take him out. So Liam and I are going to go out. It'll be a father-son trip. And we'll just get all this fast food. And then I'll come home and stream. Upgrade your plumbing before you do that. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, shit. Bruh. Guys. First promotional art for Doctor Doom. RDJ Doctor Doom. Dude, if this is really it, I'm gonna fucking come. Oh my god, bro. Oh my God. I'll be in my bunk. Wow. Whew. We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay, chat. That is crazy. That is crazy, chat. Phew. Dude. Holy. We're back. We're back and we never fucking left. Oh my. Oh my. You drew that? That's pretty good, man. It's pretty good. Wow. Guys. Missed your Howard Stern thing? Oh, sorry, bud. I probably did actually talk about it. You probably missed it. You probably missed it. Both Biden and Gunn shared in the same thought process. How do I reach these young people? Howard Stern. Hey, not bad. Not bad, Chris. I'm actually glad I went back for that one. Not bad. Even more hype for Doom takes off the mask and Spooder Man sees Tony's face. Yeah, man. Definitely. Dude, this is crazy. If this is real, they fucking cooked in a way that I didn't even think they could. Like, it's just so good. And it feels MCU at the same time. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, the gauntlets have all their shit, the chainmail underneath. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God, bro. This is crazy. I gotta get out of here, but like, holy shit, what a day. Oh man. No, this is real. This is from Shanghai. This is like an actual thing, dude. This is an actual thing. Phew. Yeah, this is what Marvel is officially putting out there. And it's not like they're not shooting. They've been filming for months. They have the official look. Also, too, I'm just going to say this. You could kind of see why Downey might have not wanted to be in this the entire time. This is a big job. This is a big, bulky costume. It looks heavy as shit. This is a nice costume. Holy. They probably should have just did a sketch of this, though, and then called Howard Stern. Yeah, this looks like a lot. That's probably like, I don't think it's 200 pounds, but that could be 50 pounds. That could be 50, 60 pounds. What are we looking at? This is the first official look at Doctor Doom. This is the design of the MCU Doctor Doom. And I can't believe this. I can't even do a video about this. This is the worst possible time. Well, you know what? We'll do a video about it first thing tomorrow morning. I'll gush about it. We'll get into it. This is crazy. And who knows? Maybe more shit will pop off. They didn't make it out of real metal, Josh? No, probably not. But I mean, even still, dude. Like, I'm saying even without the metal, it's 50 pounds. Heavy leather, all this padding. The cloak itself might be 10 pounds. I mean, maybe that's a little crazy, 10, but still. Wow. That's a lot of... That is big, bulky costume, bro. Like, I wouldn't want to be wearing that. You know what I mean? I mean, I would because you look so fucking cool. But, I mean, if you're on set for 12 hours in this, yeah, you're going to want to kill yourself. Like, dude, like, oh, man. But it looks so cool. This is so cool, dude. Wow. All right. All right. Where's this posted at? So this was in Shanghai. It was a Disney marketing event. This is where we just got the whole laser show thing as well. It's all over the internet right now, brothers. If you just go on Twitter, you'll probably find it. Wow. Wow. I don't know, man. I guess I just didn't because to be honest, like the one in the post-credit scene of Fantastic Four is like whatever. It is not that cool. Looks kind of weird. I don't like the material on the cape and all that. But again, I think that's an old version. I said it many times today. I think there's going to be a time jump. This is more in the lines of what I'm thinking. And my God, I just didn't know they would cook like this. This is some fucking cooking, dude. This is some badass shit. I like it. I like it. The body language is perfect too. All right, everybody. Well, I got to get on out of here. I got to go get ready to watch Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer. We'll stream tomorrow. Big old stream tomorrow. Clips. I also have a big video I've cooked up, which will probably drop very early tomorrow, which is about Eternity in Doctor Doom. I'm putting together some of these crazy theories I have into some good videos so you guys can watch all of those. But yeah, I'm going to get on out of here. Wow. I did not expect this. First look at Doctor Doom. Holy shit. Pretty crazy stuff. Okay, everybody. Much love. I appreciate you all. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Holy shit! I can't believe it, man. I can't believe I have to like leave and stuff now. This is crazy. But Demon Slayer though, it's just gonna be dope. We have a lot to talk about tomorrow, man. I bet more will come out today about this, and we'll do a whole breakdown tomorrow on stream. It's gonna be juicy, and then Saturday morning we'll do all the breakfast food stuff. It's gonna be really, really fun. So, damn, this is crazy. Holy shit, huh? Wild times. Wild times. All right, everybody. Hey, get on out here, enjoy your day, and do me a favor, would you? Would you just open up your third eye and wash out your stinky, stinky butt. Ho.